everything that transpired during that basketball game, it's clear as day that Stephanie White has an agenda against Caitlin Clark. Limiting her time. I understand she was dealing with a back injury. I understand that she may be on low management, but to just the type of sabotaging that was taking place was just diabolical. 3 minutes here, 2 minutes there. Caitlin Clark just could not get in the rhythm, and it showed throughout this game.
And Stephanie White just played her 16 minutes in a primetime game against the Sparks. 16 minutes. Fans paid money to see Caitlin Clark play basketball, and she spent 3/4 of the game on the bench. Now, should coaching decisions be made based on ticket sales and TV ratings? Of course not. You coach to win games. But when your coaching decisions aren't winning games and they're undermining the marketability of your franchise player, you've got a problem. The Fever lost this game by double digits while their best player watched from the sideline. That's not load management, that's mismanagement. And here's where it gets really interesting. Remember at the beginning when Stephanie White said they were going to flip-flop, Clark plays tonight, Boston plays tomorrow. So tomorrow's game rolls around, and the question becomes, will Aaliyah Boston get the same treatment? Will she play 16 minutes in weird 3-minute bursts? Will she get yanked every time she starts to find a rhythm? Or will she play a normal rotation because the minutes restriction was never really about the back-to-back, it was specifically about limiting Caitlin Clark? That's the test. If Boston plays 28 minutes tomorrow in a normal rotation, then we know this wasn't about managing a back-to-back. This was about managing Caitlin Clark. And if that's the case, then the question becomes why? Why would a coach deliberately limit the effectiveness of her best player? There are a few possible explanations, and none of them are good. Option 1. Stephanie White genuinely believes that playing Clark in short bursts is better for the team long-term, which would mean she's a bad coach who doesn't understand how to maximize talent. Option 2. There's some personality conflict or power struggle happening behind the scenes, which would mean there's dysfunction in the organization that's going to torpedo this season. Option 3. White is being pressured by someone above her to manage Clark's minutes for reasons that have nothing to do with basketball, which would mean the Fever's front office is actively sabotaging their own team. None of those options are acceptable. And all of them lead to the same result. Caitlin Clark's rookie season is being wasted by coaching decisions that make no sense. Let's look at the actual performance numbers from this game, because they tell a story that the box score doesn't fully capture.
Now, this was Stephanie White before the game, right? Let me show you guys a little clip here real quick. So this was Stephanie White before the game. Let's listen.
Just Aaliyah Boston was obviously listed as questionable yesterday. How did she feel through shoot around, and do you have an update on her status for tonight?
Yeah, she just did some of the shooting. She's going to be out tonight. Again with the back-to-back. And Caitlin are back-to-back. Caitlin's going to be active tonight. AB's not, and then they'll flip-flop tomorrow.
In the 16 minutes Clark played, the Fever were -8. That sounds bad until you realize that in the 32 minutes she sat, they were -14. So even on a night where she couldn't get into any rhythm because of the rotation, the team was still better with her on the floor than without her. The Sparks scored 60 points in the paint. You know when most of those points came? When Clark was on the bench and the Fever had no one to organize their defense. 27 fast break points. You know what stops fast breaks? A point guard who can control pace and make smart decisions in transition. Clark sat, the Sparks ran, and the game got out of hand. Kelsey Mitchell finished with decent numbers, but she had to force everything because there was no secondary playmaker to take pressure off her. That's what happens when your point guard plays 16 minutes. Everyone else has to do more than they're capable of, and the whole system breaks down. Here's what makes this especially frustrating. This isn't a talent problem. The Fever have the pieces to be a playoff team. Clark and Boston are one of the best young duos in the league. Mitchell is a proven scorer. They've got role players who can contribute. But they're being coached like they're tanking for a draft pick instead of fighting for playoff position. And the worst part is that Caitlin Clark is handling this with complete professionalism. She's not complaining to the media, she's not throwing her coach under the bus. She's talking about team defense and effort and all the right things, but you can hear it in her voice during that press conference. She knows something's wrong, she's just too smart and too professional to say it out loud. So what happens next? The Fever have another game tomorrow where supposedly Boston plays and Clark sits. Then they've got a stretch of games where they'll need to win most of them to stay in playoff position. And Stephanie White has to decide whether she's going to keep playing this minutes restriction game or whether she's going to let her best players actually play. Because here's the reality, the WNBA season is short. There are only 40 games. The Fever have already played more than half their season and they're hovering around bot 500. Every game they lose because of weird rotation decisions is a game they can't get back.
You had to say at the conclusion of the game. And as for Kelsey Mitchell, want to act like she want a pity party. Hell, to be honest with you, you're part of the reason they lost. Ball hogging. Couldn't nobody else get in rhythm but you. Ridiculous.
You allowed on offense, your defense is awesome. I see you out there switching, so tell me a little bit about your defense.
Thank you. I mean, that's definitely something I feel like I can hang my hat on. I think a lot of that comes down to just effort, comes down to trying to almost guess what they're going to do on offense and take away what they're best at. But it's a testament to our coaches in getting us prepared, and we watch a lot of film on the other team. But defense ultimately is a 5-person job. So we do a really great job, I think, at times of switching, helping each other, playing on a string. And that's only going to get better as the season progresses.
And if they miss the playoffs because their coach couldn't figure out how to play her two best players together, that's a fireable offense. The flip-flop strategy might sound smart in a front office meeting. We'll rest them on alternating nights, keep them fresh, manage the workload. But in practice, it means you're never playing your best lineup. It means you're going into every game with one hand tied behind your back. It means you're prioritizing some theoretical future version of this team over the actual team that's trying to win actual games right now. And for Caitlin Clark specifically, this is her rookie season. These are the games where she's supposed to be learning, developing chemistry with her teammates, figuring out how to be great at the professional level. Instead, she's sitting on the bench watching her team lose while her coach experiments with rotations that don't work. The question every Fever fan should be asking right now is this: what is Stephanie White's actual plan? Because from the outside, it looks like there isn't one. It looks like she's making it up as she goes, trying different things to see what sticks, and in the process wasting what could be a special season. Caitlin Clark didn't come to the WNBA to play 16 minutes a game. She came to be great, and right now, her coach won't let her. So here's what to watch for in the next few games. Does the minutes restriction continue, or was this a one-game thing? Does Boston get the same treatment tomorrow, or does she play a normal rotation? And most importantly, do the Fever start winning games, or does this pattern of weird coaching decisions continue to cost them? Because if this keeps up, if Stephanie White keeps playing her stars in ways that guarantee they can't succeed, then this isn't just bad coaching, this is sabotage. And somebody in the Fever organization needs to step in and fix it before this entire season goes down the drain. Are you buying Stephanie White's explanation, or does something else feel off about how this is being handled? Drop your take in the comments. And if you want to see how this situation develops, hit that subscribe button because this story isn't over, not even close.
Okay, being the engine that makes this whole thing go, please tell us about your tenacity. It's like your motor never stops.
It's about showing up. It's my job. I'm going to do my job every day. I think that this game can't be taken for granted. You got to respect it. You got to pour in whatever you got into it, and give that every time. I don't think there's an excuse that you can give to do this job, and I think that I do my damnedest to make sure that I show up. If I can lace them up and I can do what I need to do, then I'm going to do it.
That we couldn't get back in defense on, so testament to them and just their aggressiveness on the offensive side.
Kelsey, to that end, it seemed like this game was just disjointed a little bit for you guys. Was it sometimes the turnovers, or sometimes even you didn't turn it over, but you just couldn't get into the offense you guys wanted? Do you feel like there was this sort of a little bit of a disjointedness that you guys never could quite get past?
I think Flo is always disjointed, disoriented when you don't defend. I think that anything that you want to do on the offensive end, you can't do when you don't defend the ball. If you're getting the ball at the net every possession, you're going to be discombobulated. I think for us, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot because we couldn't find a decent flow offensively, but I think that's a testament to how bad our defense was. I think that we had some good moments. I think that we had some moments that made it seem like we were getting back into the game, but you got to turn them into moments every single possession after a while, and we shot ourselves in the foot because then we started looking for possessions to save us, and it was kind of just ugly.
Yeah, Lexi, you mentioned the 106 points on defense. Just what was breaking down there defensively, especially in the front court with them scoring 60 in the paint?
Yeah, I mean, not having AB tonight definitely hurts us, I think. She's a presence on the defensive side for sure. But like Kelsey talked about, I think we couldn't get set up on defense with the turnovers that we had. It just kind of ruined our momentum when we turn it over and they get leak out layups. But I think like we let them do what they want to do. All their starters with over 10 points. That's something that we can't let happen. yeah, I just didn't feel like we were.
More one-on-one this time. Did that catch you guys by surprise at all?
No, that's kind of who they always been identified as. I don't think that they've always had downhill players, and it's just something that we just weren't as mindful of that as we should have been. But I don't think them and who they were tonight was any different than what we've seen before. I just think that we didn't match their physicality. We were soft. We got punched in the mouth, and we kind of just kept getting punched tonight. And I don't think, hats off to their group for being really great, but I don't think it's something that we have.
What did the Sparks do that you saw that you did not expect them to do tonight, coming in, that allowed them to score as many points as they did tonight?
I don't think they did anything that we didn't expect them to do. I think we certainly understand how capable of a team they are. I felt like we just didn't match their energy. We didn't match their toughness. We didn't match their effort tonight.
Stephanie, I just wonder what you made of Caitlin's performance over the 16 minutes and why maybe you didn't get the best out of her tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, anytime you've missed, a couple weeks, it's going to take some time to get acclimated. I think it's going to take some time to build endurance. She hadn't really been able to practice all that much either. They pressured 94 feet, so again, you got to make sure that you're able to withstand some of that. It's never easy when you're reintegrating, after injury. So I thought she did some really good things. It's just a tough scenario when you're on a minutes restriction and you're trying to get back into rhythm throughout the course of the season. So she's going to continue to be better. Come back in.
Yeah, the Sparks had 60 points in the paint tonight. Just what were the breakdowns in the front court, especially with AB out?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big one. Right, that's a big one because she's our anchor. She's our anchor. She's our communicator. She's our rim protector. She does a lot for us, and 27 fast break points, 22 points off of turnovers. I mean, that contributes because those are easy ones. We don't have a transition defense when you give it to them and they're able to score, turnovers for touchdowns, so to speak. I felt like some of our rotations weren't there. As good of activity level as we had a game ago, I don't think we had that here tonight. Again, it's big when you don't have an AB on the floor, certainly. We didn't have Sophie early as she locked up early, before even warm up. So we didn't have her.
Coach, you mentioned earlier also that they were going to flip-flop and Caitlin would play today and Aliyah play tomorrow. Was that decision based on about the opponents?